Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard and welcome back to MC Eternal. So it hasn't actually been a ton of time since last episode. Um, I did go ahead and just order, it may already be done, it is done. I went ahead and ordered 20 dense smart cable for us. And let me can I get 4 more of these? Yeah. I did go ahead and automate. Yeah, you can see it's crafting, or it was crafting wool up there. I did go ahead and set these recipes. These are using our essence. It's not all of our essence yet, but it's kind of what I had slots for. Um, and I did go ahead and dig out a few rooms here. These are basically identical to these rooms. They're going to be kind of our crafting sub rooms. And there we go. There's 24. And then I dug back into here and a large area here, which of course will shape up and stuff. But I did go ahead and dig those out. But I decided that we've got enough dense cable and we've got our sheep essence that's been building up little by little. And I wanted to go ahead and jump into our next project because there's something that we're going to be getting here today that's just going to make my life super easy. Super easy. Let's go ahead and get some white cable. I'm starting with white because there's a quest here to get dense white cable. So we'll go ahead and just knock that out. But what I want to do is I want to remove our controller. I'm going to wait until I get the cables ran first. But what I'm thinking is we're going to run it to over in here. And I'm actually going to plug it up here. Okay, now dense cable. If you take a look at the top left, you can see with this being smart cable, it tells you how many channels are being used on that line. So it says 0 out of 32. And that's where we're going to start getting into channels a bit today. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time covering them because it's one of those topics that will bore anybody that's done AE2 before. But basically, let me see. Here's what I'm thinking. For our ME controller, we're probably going to have it take up most of this room, but it's going to be on the back end. So right here will probably be my first controller, I think. And that'll be the controller that plugs into this line. We'll talk about why that is later. And we are probably going to turn all this into a subsystem that carries like dense amounts of channels. So, but yeah, we're just going to run that to there, I think. But basically each cable line can only support so many channels. Unless it's disabled in the configs, which I don't believe that it is in this pack. And basically each side of this ME controller can output up to 32 channels. Now right now we're only using about 8 channels, not even 8 really, but we're only using up to 8 channels from this because we're running everything through Fluix cable, which can only transmit 8 channels. So upgrading to dense cable will allow us to increase the amount of channels of capacity that we have. So what we do is if we run this over, this is now sending 8 channels down this Fluix cable line. It's really only sending 2. But it can transmit up to 8 channels through that line there because it's changing over to Fluix. And dense cable cannot plug into machines. You have to plug it up with Fluix or standard smart cable or standard covered cable. So just keep that in mind. Your dense cable is basically used for transferring stuff. So we're going to run this out. This is going to be our white line. Normally I wouldn't go with white first. I like the more colorful colors, but since the quest wants us to make white, then that's what we're going to do. So let's see. Can I go ahead? Just do that. And can I just vein mine out the rest of that? Just to clear this gap without wasting a bunch of stuff. So we're going to bring our dense cable line over. It's currently right here. Now really I could get by with only having Let's see. Well, really, that's far enough. I can leave this Fluix cable line ran over because I decided I'm going to do 8 machines here, and I'm going to have 8 ME interfaces. And if you, like that says 2 of 32 channels, that's because this is running 2 channels off of it. If you only use 2 channels, though, feel free, like you could have an ME Fluix cable that runs out and takes 1 channel. It's only going to take 1 off of your channels that are being carried through this. So you could technically have 32 different nodes coming off of 1 dense smart cable. It's not like that's going to take 8, you know. It only takes 2 channels. So, and the difference in smart cable, covered cable, Fluix cable, mainly is that smart cables are going to tell you how many channels it's using, whereas standard cables are not, and Fluix cables will not. So, Fluix cables are kind of like the cheapy version. You can still color them, but they are the cheapy version. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to run over some Fluix. It's going to run over to here. It's going to go up right there. And then if we run this over, plug that in, and then we take and we plug up, you know, interface. I need 2 more interfaces if I can. I can. Awesome. And then I'm also going to want, well, I have no crafting CPUs. By the way, crafting CPUs, if you only have 1, you can only order 1 thing at a time. And with no co-processing units, it means that it can only handle 1 craft at a time as well. So just bear that in mind. Molecular assemblers, we're going to go ahead and order those. And then we'll run that back. And so that's pretty much our interface bay right there. And then our crafting storages, these are actually going to get moved. Pretty much the entire system's about to get moved at this point. Oh, I probably shouldn't have unplugged that because it canceled my molecular assemblers. Let me go ahead and order 3 of those again. And it added more Certus quartz. That's fine. Okay, but there's 2 of them. I'm going to wait for that one to finish up. If we click right here, we can see it's just waiting on the Certus quartz dust at the moment. So it needs 1 more. Let me go ahead and pull out the extra for right now. There we go. There's our last molecular assembler. Okay, so now it's time that we disassemble our AE2 system. So what we'll do, we'll just go ahead and pull all this stuff up. And really, I need to leave the flux point over here. So really, I should make another flux point. Okay, so let's see if we can order a... Oh, let me put this back for just a minute. I'll put it right here for right now. Okay, let's see if we can order a flux point. We're missing... Okay, yeah. That's... I haven't taught it how to make redstone blocks. We will do that. I'm not going to do it right this second. And I also need some ender pearls, which are currently, my shop is currently bugged because I tried popping into the nether and then I was like, oh yeah, I've got blaze powder. Let me just pop into here. There we go. That'll fix the shop for us. Okay, I want to get some ender pearls. Let's get 20 of these things. And we'll just dump them into there. And now we should be able to order flux point. So there we go. Awesome. So that is working. Now let's go ahead and pull this up. Let's pull up this. Let's pull up all these cables. Let me go ahead and grab this also. And I want to grab all of that. I want to grab that. And we can go ahead and clean up most of this flux cable. as well. And I'll leave the rest of that here for now. I'm going to do some rearranging in here. But now what we can do is we can come out over to here and we can set up our controller. And then we'll set up our flux point right here for right now. This will change a little bit because we got to automate controllers and stuff. And I'm probably going to lift this by 1 and have it so the cables actually come out the bottom. I tend to like being able to see the cables. If you color them and make it look nice and kind of rainbowish, it actually looks pretty cool. As long as you actually put forth some effort to make it look nice. That's very important. Okay, so now what we can do, let's go ahead, and this is of course going to be kind of a temporary little setup for now, but we're going to run that over. We're going to put our interface terminal, our crafting terminal, our pattern terminal there, and then we're going to go ahead and set up our ME drive here with our storage cell, and then we'll put our crafting storage right back here for right now. And that's pretty much our AE system. So if we open this up, you can see we have access. Right now, all we have access to is the stuff that's in our storage system and our essences. Let me set this to number of items. Number of items. And if we look at our interface terminal, there's nothing. We have no interfaces plugged up. But if we come over now and we plug up our molecular assembler, this one we're actually going to put on the bottom for right now, and we run the others like that. We give this just a second to update. There we go, 8 of 32 channels. So that means that this Fluix cable is transmitting 8 channels at the moment. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Basically just our interface bay that's being powered. So now if we pop back over here, you can see that all of our crafting stuff is open and available to us. And our interface terminal now has all of our current recipes. So we've already filled out 5 interfaces, like in one episode pretty much. Filled out 5 of those. Okay, so right now though, these interfaces over here are not plugged up. So what we're going to do, let me go ahead and pull up this flux point. And let me grab these. And we're going to go ahead and set this flux point up just right here. And it's already connected to the primary power system. And what I'm thinking is we're going to have like machine here, and then this is going to come through and it's going to wrap up like that. And it's going to come over right there and supply power. So we'll have another line of machines here. So a total of 8. That way we're using 8 channels, but we don't have to try to push it for, say, 10 machines or something like that in here, because it's just really not needed for us, I don't think. And then let me grab all of this stuff. Now, to plug up our interfaces, what we're going to do... Did I get that? I'm not sure. Guess it doesn't really matter, but I think I did. We're going to go ahead and just run out cable like that. As long as you plug it into one interface, they'll all connect. So then we'll have 8 interfaces here total once everything's all said and done, and all of them will be plugged up, and now all of them will have power for all of our machines. And then we can just close up this. There we go. Of course, we got to decorate stuff in here, but sounds like I have a skeleton. Oh, he's like right above me somewhere. I don't know. I think I lit up most of that stuff there. But if we take a look now, there we go. Our pulverizer and our redstone furnace are now plugged up. That's what we want to see. And our cable line just so happens to go right beside the next room that I want to plug up. And right now this is running 12 of 32 channels. Now, once we get all this set up, we're going to have all those channels running through. We're going to have like 16 here, 16 here, 16 here, 16 here. So 64 channels total, plus 2 coming off of that. But we're going to do that with a sub channel, which we'll get into later. For right now, 2 rooms is plenty for me to get started with AE2, and then we'll expand on it, a bit later. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of clean that up a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do in this room, this is where I need my advanced inscribers, which I haven't actually gotten around to crafting just yet. Give me just a second, and I'll get these crafted up. Okay, so in this room, what we're going to do is we're going to have, basically, let's dig out where our machines are going to go, which will be these 8 slots right here. Okay, and we're basically just going to have 7 inscribers and a crystal growth chamber. That's what we're going to have. So we'll go ahead and set those up. We'll set up our crystal growth, which it's going to set, say, right over here. And let's go ahead and dig this out just a little bit. Let's go ahead and run this up. And then I'm going to have to get some interfaces. So can I order? Yeah, I can order 3 of those without issue. That's great. And let's see, I've got the slots here. I want to teach you how to make a couple things. I want to teach you how to make chests, which I'm going to go ahead and teach it this recipe. Just because. And then I want to teach you how to make hoppers. And then we'll just open this up and drop those into there. And then let me order like 5 hoppers real quick. Okay, so our interfaces are done. Let's go ahead and grab those. And we're just going to plug that in like there. And then let me go ahead and just open this up a little bit. We're going to have an interface setting there. Okay, I'm going to need some more engineering circuits. I think these should get power. Let's go ahead and throw that in there. Yeah, that should be being fed power from the interface behind it. We're going to get some acceleration upgrades going through these things here shortly. So, but let me go ahead. There's another advanced inscriber. Just set that one up right. Maybe it's not getting powered. Maybe it's not. Maybe it needs direct connect. So, if that's the case, what we'll do, this has 14 of 32 channels at the moment. If I was to run that over, should still have 14 of 32. Okay, there we go. There's all of those. And I'm not sure if this is going to get power. It seems like it had some stored up. But it might feed through all of these. Maybe the interface isn't sending power. Which I'm kind of thinking that it wasn't. Seems like it's working okay now. There's 2 more of those. And we'll go ahead and set up one interface setting there. And hit the back of that. Then I'm going to have an interface here, an interface here. And we're going to have a different processor in each of these. That way we don't have to pull them out. So let's grab a silicon, let's grab a logic, let's grab a calculation. And let me go ahead and order, I'm going to need 4 more hoppers. Okay, and I've got, okay. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a logic press on this one. And then we're going to do a calculation, an engineering, and a silicon. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up, I'm going to need some patterns real quick. Let me go ahead and order some of those. I'm going to want a few. Let me go ahead and just order like 10. And what we're going to do, I'm going to have to run probably a conduit line that comes out of this. But let me go ahead and teach it a pattern. This is going to be processing. And we're going to say that if you send... Do I have any of those made up? I do not. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull up... Let's go ahead and pull up processor. And we're going to teach it how to make printed logic circuits. And we're going to remove the logic press because we already have that in the system. So if you send gold, you get printed logic circuit. So there we go. And then for logic processor, if you send printed logic redstone and printed silicon, you get logic processor. And there we go. And so we're going to put that into there, that into there. And that should be right? Logic, yeah. Okay, so then what we can do is we can order, I've only got one of those, but if I go to order interfaces, and I say I really need 5 of them, there we go. You can see that it can craft it. It's going to have to craft printed logic circuits. That's okay. It's currently crafting, it's crafting these. Okay, well let me cancel that for right now because it's basically just, it's cooking down glass. And let me go ahead and order 5 of these. So now if we pop over, there we go. It's running this. And by the way, in the shop, can I buy gold? I can. Okay, let me buy like 5 of those. Okay, and once it finishes, yeah, this is where we're going to need item conduits to basically to move these things. Let me go ahead and put this right there. Okay, so there's 36 item conduits. That should be good. We're going to have to get those automated here soon as well. So for these, what we're going to do, let's go ahead and just remove a bit of this. And we're going to remove a bit of this. And what we'll do is we'll just run out line of conduits like that. And we're going to say that you can extract always active. You can extract always active. I believe it won't extract. I think we might have to filter this, but that's fine. We'll get to that later. I can't remember, but I think it goes ahead and it will allow you to extract at any time. And if so, that's okay. Easy fix, but let's go ahead and pull up these real quick. And let me pop around to the back side. And what we'll do instead is we'll have that to supply our power. And then we'll have our conduits sitting there. And we're going to leave these as locked for the time being. And we're going to put a conduit right there. And we're going to say that this one back here inserts. This one extracts always active. And yeah, it's already moved that over to here now. And it's now pumping out logic processors. They're not going anywhere just yet, but we're going to take care of that in just a moment. Okay, so the top is already configured. The bottom, I need another interface that sits down here, but I don't have one. Let's see. Well, we'll put this temporarily for right now. We're going to run that up. We're going to say that you can insert. Okay, so it's going to start pulling the stuff out of here and dumping it into the system. So now if we pop over, we should have our interfaces. There we go. Let's see, super temporary setup. We'll go ahead and pull that up. Interface back here. Right click the back. And then we come back around and I can set it to insert on that. Okay, so our conduits are pretty much done at this point. Our input and output is done. So, and yeah, you could say I'm pretty much picking back up from the last episode. And then we'll go there, there, there. Okay, and now we have 16 of 32, 20 of 32. There we go, just updated. So this wall is filled out. I just need one more advanced inscriber, which I should be able to do pretty easily now. So what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and grab these patterns. Let me go ahead and order that. If we take a look at the rest of our processors, to get, we did logic, then to get engineering, we're going to teach it that and that. And then to get our calculation, that and that. And then let's go ahead. I'm going to slot these specifically. So I'm going to do these by hand since they all just register as ME interfaces. We're going to put in, let's see, which one of these? This one had the calculation. This one had the engineering. Okay, so the finished engineering processor goes here. The finished calculation processor goes here. Engineering here. Calculation here. And I think I need engineering. Let me just move this to there. We'll say extract is always active. Okay, and then I should be able to order, I need 2 of these real quick. We pop around to this side, we see this one running, and then here in just a second, that one, there we go. That one's starting to run. And this is a whole lot easier than having to craft that out by hand, because I really didn't want to have to do that. And then we'll get our final advanced inscriber. Okay. And one last thing that we need to automate, and that is printed silicon. So that's how you make that. Whoops. That's how you make that. And that goes right there. I think it was the top one. Yeah, it is. There we go. Okay, so our circuits are done. Now we just have to get speed upgrades to make it faster. And that's it. Now we just need to quickly automate the crystal growth chamber, which is mainly going to be pure Certus. We might use it for a couple other things, but pure Certus is basically if we take, well, we're going to teach it the whole crafting line, basically. So if you take, let me set it to crafting. Okay, let's say if you take Certus quartz dust and you take sand, you're going to get Certus quartz seed. And then let's go ahead and grab one of those. And then if you take Certus quartz seeds, and we're going to go ahead and keep it as 2, that makes 2 pure Certus. Okay. And let's go to our interface terminal here. And we're going to say the crystal growth chamber, that goes here. And then the molecular assembler, that goes there. And then if I was to order, if I was to drop this in here and I was to order, say, 2 pure Certus, what happens? Sure, it's going to go into here. It's not pulling it out. It may wait until it's done. And if so, that just makes our life so much easier because we don't have to filter it then. So 85%. And poof. There we go. And it got pulled out. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. So that's automated. Okay, it's that simple. And this room is now all nicely filled out. So yay. Good stuff. One thing I do really want to do, just really, really quick. Let me go ahead and order like 10 of that. And we're just going to go ahead and dye a batch of this white. Because there's a quest for it. There we go. So the only quest that we have left is the quantum link chamber and the wireless terminal. We're about to do the wireless terminal though. But we're going to pretty much bypass the wireless terminal. I'm going to put the charger away for right now. I don't know if we'll really need it, to be perfectly honest. I'm not for sure. But anyways, I want to get the wireless crafting terminal. We are going to have to make a wireless terminal for this, which is fine. But that's what I actually want. Okay, so there's some illuminated panels. And then there's a little bit more to this setup than just crafting this, but we'll get into that here in just a second. Let me get a logic processor. And back to our terminal. The wireless receiver. We're going to need a Fluix Pearl. We're actually going to need a couple of these, so we'll go ahead and snag those. There's our wireless receiver. And then we're going to need the dense energy cell, which takes a bunch of energy cells. Let me go ahead and just to make this a bit easier, let's go ahead and I think, yeah, we can use regular Certus for this. So let's go ahead and teach it as regular Certus. So there's how you make that. So I want, see, I've got one. Let me order 7 more energy cells. And it's going to have to go through this whole thing of crafting down Fluix dust, basically. Which actually crafts really fast. Oh, no. There we go. And while that's running, can I take a look at the induction smelter? What do I need to make this? We're going to need copper gears. I know I don't know how to make Invar gears, so let me teach it that. But I think the majority of this stuff we already know how to do. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and just teach it the induction smelter recipe. And this is an easy way for us to see what we're missing, what we don't know how to make. So there we go. It knows how to make all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that for just a minute. Let's order the induction smelter. There we go. There's our energy sales. We did complete a quest for that. We'll get to that in just a second. Terminal. There's our dense energy cell. Okay, I don't need the pattern terminal right now. And then there's our ME terminal. There is our wireless terminal. So, quest complete. And we get 75 gold and a music disc. Is that one of the Between Lands ones? I think it is. And then we have this quest here. And we got 8 gold ore. So igneous extruder is the next thing. Oh, igneous extruder is nice. We'll probably be using that for our cobble gen. Because I think we can pump out more and more quickly than with what we've got so far. Once we can fully upgrade it, that is. Okay. Yeah, that's the Wandering Wisps music disc. Okay, and can I order like a batch of... Let's see, can I order like 18 1Ks real quick? Because I'm going to need more storage disks soon. And I need more crafting CPUs also. Okay, so we're going to set this up right here for right now. We'll say back is in and outs. There we go. Okay, now if I wanted to look at the upgrade, this is what I'm kind of curious about getting, is the second tier upgrade. Can't I make hardened glass in the induction smelter? I can with pulverized obsidian and pulverized lead. Okay, and I'm actually getting really low on lead at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and make ourselves some lead seeds. Like, this is all the lead I've got. It's getting pretty bad. So we'll go ahead and get that rolling for now. And I'm going to teach it a couple recipes here. I'm going to teach it how to make... I'm going to teach you how to make pulverized lead. So if you send this to the pulverizer, you get pulverized lead. And then I also want to teach it... I know we got sidetracked from the terminal. We're going to get that here in just a second, but the speeds on these things is just killing me. So that's how you get pulverized obsidian. And then I want to teach it how to make hardened glass through the induction smelter method. So there's that. And also I'm going to need, that has finished. Let me go ahead and order an interface. And then let me teach it how to make, this is a crafting recipe, but I want to teach you how to make an upgrade reinforced upgrade kit. So there's that. And then let me grab this interface. And do I have any patterns? I don't. Let me order like 10 more of those. I can just like order everything now. With a little bit of essences and stuff, like you're set. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up this interface. It's going to be setting right there. Click the back of it. Induction smelter is going to get the hardened glass recipe. The pulverizer is going to get the pulverized lead and pulverized obsidian recipe. And then this goes right there. I do already have one of the gears in here, but to make more of these, I am going to need some of our patterns. So let's go ahead and teach it now how to make silver gears. There we go. And we'll just drop that right into there. So now, as long as we've got the materials, we should be able to make the upgrades. And we will turn these into kits, but not until we get all of them made. And I forgot to set this as hardened glass. Go ahead and change this. Let me order 2 hardened glass. No CPUs available. Right now, I'm like always stuck waiting on this pulverizer. So that's why I want to get this thing fixed pretty quick. Oh, let me unlock the flux slot as well, because it was trying to wait for flux. Okay, but there's our hardened glass. So let's just fix this recipe. There we go. That's how you make the reinforced upgrade kit. Okay. And let me just order one of these. Boom, there we go. And quest complete. We'll just drop that onto our pulverizer. It needs it. Now, another thing we need to do, just really, really quick, is if we pull up thermal, we need actually upgrades for these. So the auxiliary reception coil increases maximum power usage. That's what we want. So we're going to go ahead and just teach it how to make these. And then we're going to go ahead and get like 3 of these real quick. These are pretty quick to craft because they're really just crafting, like crafting table crafts. So then we'll throw these into our augmentation slots. And also in the redstone furnace. And I'm going to need some more on these, but that's fine. So now if we were to order, let's just order some Certus quartz dust. We've got 6 right now. Let's order like 100. And let's see how fast it crafts. It's going to be quite a bit better now. There we go. That's quite a bit better. We still have a lot of room to improve, but it is substantially better than it was. Okay, so back to what we were working on. Let's pull up our terminals. And I want this now. Which basically I'm just going to need a crafting terminal. Which I just need an ME terminal. Which I just need a logic processor. Of course I do. Okay, so there's our ME terminal. Then we're going to get our ME crafting terminal. Then we're going to get our ME terminal, our wireless crafting terminal. So there's that. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get ourselves a security terminal, which takes, oh, I can go ahead and order these actually. Let me go ahead and order 2 16Ks. Shouldn't take too long to whip up. And then the security terminal. We're going to need an ME chest, which takes another ME terminal. Wonderful. And can I order acceleration cards at this point? Like 9 of them. Which is really, really fast. I don't know what it takes. Oh, diamonds. Let's see. What quest did I finish? This one here. Okay. Let me get, say, 10 more diamonds. Okay. Our acceleration cards are finishing out. There we go. And let me go ahead and order another batch of cores. And our acceleration cards, we're going to go ahead and just put these into logic. I use a lot of. And then, of course, silicon I use a lot of. And then we'll go ahead and do like some calculations. Yeah, I'm just going to do 3 of each. Advanced Inscriber can accept up to 5. But I'm just going to start with 3 each in the 2 logics and the silicon there. So then if I was to order a logic processor now, it should be quite a bit quicker to craft. Yeah, it's already done. Okay, so back over to the security terminal. I need that. I need that. I need an engineering processor. And we're going to have to get more crafting storage and crafting co-processing units. We'll get all that in due time. But I will say that this is probably going to be the last episode that we mess with AE2 for right now. And the reason being, I don't want to just have like a ton of AE2 episodes because I know they get tiring. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears after this episode and probably do a bit of exploration. We've kind of been cramped into the base for a while, and I'm ready to be out of the base, to be perfectly honest. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just take that and slot it. And so it's now, if you look under link status, it says it's linked. So there's that. And then another thing I want to do, I think we can do it from here. Our flux point, let's set up wireless charging. And we're going to go ahead and say armor slots, bauble slots, main inventory, hotbar, left hand, right hand, apply. And if we take a look here, enable wireless, apply. There we go. Now it's filling this up wirelessly. So let's get ourselves, first up I want to get an infinity booster card, which we're going to need to get ourselves, well, let me get some fluix. Let's go ahead and order like 30 real quick. Okay, infinity booster. There's that. There's that. And then we're going to need to get a wireless access point. So let me go ahead and get that. What am I missing? Calculation. There we go. Plop that in there. There we go. And then we'll set that just right here, should be fine. And then we can now open this, and there we go. We can access our entire AE system, and it's cool because it actually has the it's a lot better than the old wireless terminals, so we can see our inventory and our wireless. And what's nice is if we put this into a bauble slot, open wireless crafting terminal, let's set that to subtract. So then I can just do that and have it in a bauble slot. And the nice thing is it's being wirelessly charged by our flux point, by our flux network. So yay, that's all in place now. And then let's see, we can do that. There's infinity energy 100 units. If I was to come out here, infinite range active, infinity energy is low. So what we have to do is we have to put them into this thing. It's not ideal, but we can make wireless boosters, which do take ender dust. Let me make a quick recipe here. So let's say ender dust. Okay, let's set this to processing, and the ender pearl dust from Tech Reborn, let's go ahead, teach it that. And we're going to say this goes into the pulverizer. And we're going to go ahead and teach it a quick crafting recipe for the wireless boosters. So that. And I know these things will eat a bit of power usually, But let's go ahead and order, like, say... Oh, I'll go ahead and order one of these also. We'll say that's how you make it. Let's fix that recipe a little bit. And drop that into there. And let's order, say, 10 of these. And we'll give it a second to craft them up. And this should increase our range. If we drop them in there, you can see it's 24.72 RF per tick at the moment. But we have a range of 24 meters. And there's more boosters. We'll go ahead and drop those in there. So we're using 44.66 RF per tick. But we should be able to go out a bit further now and open this. I'm not sure. We're able to access it up here at the moment, which is pretty good. And out here. Yeah, we should have pretty good range around the base now. Right out here is out of range. Yeah. So this is about the range cutoff at the moment. Which isn't too bad. And let me take a look here at our flux network. Network statistics. So right now across our entire system we're using about 374 RF per tick. It's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. So, and that way we can just kind of open our AE2 system on the go like that. And let me set this to number of items. And we can craft from here and all that fun stuff. Yeah, and then if we have infinity energy, then we can access it like in other dimensions and things like that. But I don't know how much we'll use that when picked up or in inventory. Okay. Well, we need to automate boosters, and I'm not going to do that right now. But realistically, let's see. Let me get some patterns. So if we taught it that, we taught it Fluix pearls, which we're going to teach it that it takes. Which I'm not gonna actually be using these at the moment because they take ender pearls. But once we get an ender pearl farm, probably ender shards, then we will we'll probably set these up like to be fully automatic. And then there's how you make that. Okay. And that way, once we get ender pearls up and going, we'll pretty much have infinity energy. And we can start just opening this wherever, you know. Yeah, and I think that's pretty good. That's a good basic starter AE2 system at the moment. And then basically as we do tech, we're just going to automate and add machines as we go down here. Because we're about to be starting into, in the near future, we're about to start getting into all this tech, which we can just kind of automate the machines as we progress through the mods. Instead of having like specialized locations for different machines, like mechanism, just automate it as we go, and then just kind of quickly work through these tech quests, Ender IO, stuff like that. Nuclear craft being the exception, of course, because it works a bit differently. Even though most of these machines will be able to automate pretty easily in our AE2 system. So, but okay, so I think I'm going to end out this episode here. Next episode, when we come back, we're going to do a couple preparatory things to get us ready, and then we are going to start going into dimensions because I'm ready to get out of the base. We've been in the base a lot since the start of the pack, and there's a lot of dimensions I want to check out in this pack, and so I think we're going to go ahead and dive into a dimension. Probably not the Twilight Forest. The reason being is because I'm currently doing that on Ozone, and I really don't want to do it again right now, so we're going to put that one off for a while. So it'll either be like Midnight, Ratlantis, The Beneath, Between Lands, or Limbo. One or the other. One of those. And we might start getting into magic here soon, like Electro Blobs and stuff like that, because we do have some stuff related to Electro Blobs that we need to start working on. One thing I do want to do before we end out the episode today, though, is I want to, give me just a second, I'm going to get a bunch of chickens, Okay, there's a big old pile of chickens here. Let's go ahead and submit. Okay, we're up to 957. Here we go. Need 7 more. There we go. Quest completed. And we get a creative modifier, 250 gold, and a legendary rubber chicken. Awesome stuff. So that's another challenge done. We've currently got 4 challenges done. This one won't take us too long to get through. Basically just letting those build up at the moment. But yeah, anyways, there's another one done. So yay. We are probably going to get into slaying some withers here soon as well. But okay, so I'm going to end out this episode here. This creative modifier we're actually going to keep because this one I want to store up because we're going to start working on the angel ring before too long. We have to do a little bit of Between Lands exploration, a little bit of Twilight Forest. We have to get a resonant thruster, which is easy. And then this stuff is all pretty easy as well. So basically a little bit of exploration and we can start flying around. So we're going to save that for that. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode today. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. We will be doing some more AE2 in the future, but not next episode. I think I want to take a break from AE2. We got a good start on it, and I want to get out in the world a little bit and kill some things, you know. So we'll start getting into that next episode. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care. Stay safe. I'll see you guys next time.